There we go. Trying to get that level. Oh, Chris! Don't start. Anyway, you get used to it. I don't know if you guys would get used to it. I'm used to the barking all the time. It's just them talking. That old house up in Curtistown, I never met the old man that lives there, but that old man, I knew him through his work in his life. He would take apart sewing machines, wash machines, any machine, and he'd collate and separate all the parts. Like, here's one jar here of brass, screws, nuts, bolts, but it's all brass. And he had cigar boxes full of lenses, bearings, just so much stuff. That whole downstairs of that house was like, you know, my shop, but organized. Maybe as I get older, I'll organize it. But it was, I got a lot of the Singer sewing machine stands from him, which I'll use for the hand railing on the back of the gypsy wagon. And you saw that that whetstone, that white whetstone, those lockers right behind it, just 2 truckloads, you know, flatbed truckloads of stuff, because Dino, the guy, the professor's son moving into it, just wanted a space. He could get all that junk out of it. Young guy, he didn't know, it's not junk, man, it's good stuff. Good stuff. So much good stuff. Oh, and I did mention this last night, but I don't know if you could see it. The corks from my wine bottle, the Barefoot Moscato, a spray paint black to make oil barrels for the train. Pretty crazy, huh? You look at everything and go, how can I use that in that scale? You know, all the scrap wood in the shop, there's no scrap wood. None. Because I can get it down to the point where it's koa wooden shingles for the roof on the buildings. You know, 1/4 inch by 3/8 inch shingles. The floors inside the Victorian home in that train thing have koa floors in the living room. And they're free, so exotic, but not expensive. So also I wanted to mention, you see these little legal pads I use? These little mini legal pads? Good thing for, uh-oh, key photobomb. Good thing for making lists. And one of Peter's laws is living by the book but be the author. So this pile of lists here eventually will be a book, because it's a chronology of things that you got to do, things you do, things you got to get. And every month I, you know, start a page with my I guess my expenses and finances for the month, and that's pretty much my accounting right there. At the end of the year, I give all the major expenses to the accountant, and they take care of that for taxes. But manifesting is when you make a conscious choice to put your energies towards something. That's, I mean, I'm in Hawaii because of manifestation. There was no question. I have paint by number things my mom passed out to the kids. I took the 2 palm trees, and I didn't stay inside the lines. You know, I took artistic license and drew outside the lines, especially on the palm fronds. Nah, they're not like that. One's going to be irregular. One has to be, you know, a little kapakai, because It's the way it is in nature. And I try and explain to people that people are like trees. Take a mango tree. You look at that mango tree, you see all the leaves on that mango tree, and to you and I, from a distance, they all look like they're exactly the same. Maybe some bigger, some smaller. But there's not two leaves on that tree that are identical. They have different veins. There's no two exact measurements alike. Just like human beings. But we don't all connect like a tree does. You got fallen branches. In fact, I had a fallen branch this morning. We heard a crash, and all the dogs started barking. I go out and see looks like an avocado tree branch from the giant avocado in front of my kitchen fell down. So, when it's not raining, got to pull that puppy down, and it's over my telephone wire. Where's my lighter? Did I bring my lighter out here? Uh-oh. Yep, there it is. So yeah, love purple because nobody owns it yet. Although Hillary's really trying to, push it, pissing me off. The other thing that pisses me off is mainstream television newscasters years ago just started to wear the purple tie. Like, why? Hey. Stick to your red and blue. Don't try and be like, play both sides of the thing. And I really don't like it when the conservative, liberal, cognitive dissonant promoters, that's the thing with America is everybody's stuck in their cognitive dissonance. And that's why they get so pissed at each other when they're arguing on YouTube about, no, you're wrong, no, you a-hole, you're wrong. No, but, you're both wrong because the one who's making you argue is right. The 1% is getting you guys to smash each other's face, and they don't care about attrition. You can all kill each other. All those Middle Eastern wars is to just thin the planet out. They don't care. They want to get rid of all the brown people out of their oil fields. And those are America's oil fields are wherever they happen to be on the planet. Wherever oil is on the planet, it's America's. Or Shell, or BP. But they're, OPEC needs to go to oil needs to go to the moon, man. This is just, I use oil in my truck, but you know what? I just as much prefer burning hydrogen, burning water, which drops from the sky. But my mechanic, we were going to do that, but my mechanic that helped me set that truck up is the only guy that could have done it, Dave. But it's just so sad that, he craps out, abuses himself, Too much party drugs, too much, moderation is the key, You can't hurt yourself smoking too much pot. No way, shape, or form. All the lies they say is like, oh, it makes you lazy. Nah, hello. I need to smoke to slow down from the ADD so I can focus on one thing. And that doesn't even really work that well, because you see, I got that one thing happens to be 20 things. So I'm like a butterfly. I flitter from one project to the next. And a lot of that has to do with living 20 miles from town. If you need something, you don't run to town. It costs you $20 every time you run to town. And so you go on to the next thing, and you put on the list what you need to continue on whatever the one that you got stymied on, right? So that way you got multiple things going on, and you can spend a month at home doing things and not have to go anywhere. I have friends that every time they need a nut or a screw, they got to drive up to the store, at Orchid Land and find out they don't have it, so they have a choice to go to Pahoa or Hilo or Keao. But the Ace Hardware in Keao and Pahoa, they're more like variety store hardware stores. They got more like, you know, junk than they do the right fitting that you need. And you can end up going to Hilo anyway for a fitting. So instead of wasting gas, it's best just, you know, put it on a list. Unless it's your plumbing, then you got to go. But in the end, no, you don't, because there's always backup. And you hear my backup plumbing right now. Here comes the rain again. Ah, Coco Loco in the morning in the rain. Yeah, it doesn't get any better than this, unless I had a B-52 to drop in my cocoa. You know what a B-52 is, yeah? Kahlua, Bailey's, and Grand Marnier in a shot. Tastes like one vanilla craft caramel when you pop it. Woohoo! Yeah, I don't drink too much anymore, but I got stories. The B-52 story in New Year's Eve in Miami with my girlfriend who worked for Captain Mike Burke of Windjammer Barefoot Cruises. Old Captain Mike Burke. That's a whole nother story. God, I got so many stories. So many crazy life experiences that as I was doing all that stuff, I always kept noting to myself, my life is a movie. It would take a week-long Roots saga length feature film to capture all the, you know, and that would only be doing flash in the pan 60-second parts for all the different things. You couldn't do it. You couldn't squeeze a lifetime into a movie. Not mine anyway. Because the only part of it of long days sitting on the porch where not a lot happens has been right here for the last 20 years. But the 40 years before that was like unbelievable. It's hard to believe myself when I recall the stories and I'm still here. I'm alive. You know? Many times had guns pointed in my face. But hey, nobody popped a cap, so either I was smart enough to talk my way out of it, or you know, something else happened. But yeah, cognitive dissonance, and that's why we're not going to see a change. I don't see how there's going to be a change, not in my lifetime anyway. Even you know, Occupy was a good hope, but it got taken over. You know, they infiltrated, they divided, they separated, they busted people, they broke it apart, and that's, you know, that's what's going to happen. There's no way that you're going to be able to organize a revolution like our forefathers did, because in every group there's an FBI agent. We got FBI agents in this group. I have an FBI agent in my family, and my half-brother. And it's not that all FBI agents are bad, actually. I've partied in New Orleans in the French Corner with Jim Berzani. Pretty famous FBI agent down in New Orleans, who was like, you know, big help after St. Katrina came through and all that. That's a whole nother story. The Fed story. Oh, but that one's got to be the last book, because there's too much information, and you know, I don't want to have a suicide or a strange heart attack or a car accident that, yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. They know what I'm saying. I have to keep some of the things till, you know, my deathbed. Because I don't want my deathbed to be sooner than it's naturally going to be. I pulled out this box I have. It was full of ants in the kitchen last night, mini ants. How many of you ever seen a Cartier Champagne Magnum box? Can you see that there? Let me get it. See that there? Box that Champagne came in as a apology from Cartier when they screwed up my watch a few years ago. I got a lifetime warranty on my watch. I hold them to it. I had this watch for 35 years. And every 2 or 3 years I send it in for cleaning for free. New bezel, new stem, whatever it needs, new band, replaced for free. Because that's what the lifetime warranty said at the time of the lifetime warranty when the watch was purchased. Now they don't give out those lifetime warranties anymore, but for the window that they did have it, and I got one, they still have to honor it, even though they have different CEOs, and that, you know, as long as they're in business, and it's a pretty old company, or as long as I'm alive, they have to make sure this watch stays running accurately, if they like it or not, because a deal's a deal. And I still have the card, the plastic card, warranty card they gave me. What was that? 30, when was that? 35 years ago? Yeah, 35-year-old watch. Takes the licking and keeps on ticking. Hey, Kitty. How come Jasper didn't come out yet? Let's put that big tripod out the way. I like my little mini tripod because I put it on my little koa stool. This little koa stool is a scrap of big slab of koa on top with ohia branches as legs, and these are scrap koa supports that my friend Glenn Severin, another woodworker, makes rockers and chairs and dining sets. He's a furniture maker exclusively. That's all he does. Does beautiful work. My work is okay. He does. If there's a blemish in the wood, he won't use it. I actually like the blemish pieces, and I, you know, look for the knots. I always want the oddball piece, but his are all perfect, matching color and grain, or it goes into his scrap pile, and his scrap pile loads up the back of my truck. Used to anyway. I haven't been over there in years. I called him a while back, and he said he'd let me know, but I'll have to call him again. So I pulled some avocados off this little tree here in front, and I'm just wondering what kind it is. And I got them in a brown paper bag. They look like they're kind of the little ones, but I'm going to have to tie that tree too, because it's heavily laden on a skinny tree. So when you got fruit trees, it's good to whack them the first few years, the tops off, so the trunk gets thicker. And pretty much here, you can take a tree down to its stump and it'll grow back. Like you saw the mulberry tree in front. My lychee tree here, I top the whole top of it every year, and it can't kill that thing. And I've never topped a big mango. Gee, they're just huge. feel so protected inside these mangoes because it keeps the air still in here. When there's like blowing, I can look in the distance way out there and see trees waving back and forth, and especially way out there in my vista. I got to cut some of these palm trees down. They're blocking my sky, encroaching too much. I wonder if the sheep will eat. Oh, I wonder if the sheep will eat the fan palm. I killed 2 birds with 1 stone on that puppy. That hasn't been trimmed in a donkey's age. How long have we been out here? I need to have a little stopwatch here. I didn't have the music on. Oh, poop. Oh well. I guess that's a good enough talk for this morning. But watch me go on. I got the last night cookie making thing loading up right now. It's going to take a couple hours. This is like a 52-minute video. It's got the afternoon talk in it. I don't know if I was in the shop or not, but then it's got the cookies in it, and then it's got the night lights of the patio last night. My batteries were not charging fast enough. I got 3 batteries, 2 chargers, and they still can't keep up with the demand because this battery has to be on while the camera's downloading. The camera doesn't download when you plug it into the computer, unfortunately. So it's getting really hot, and I'm flipping the batteries, you know, boom, boom, as fast as they can. Last night I ran out. All 3 of them were down. That's crazy. So we're working on that. I hope the new camera solves that problem. Scott says you can get 2.5 hours on a GoPro, but still, loading it, I hope it loads faster. My slowest thing is the camera loading to the computer, and that blacks the whole screen out. You can't do nothing else while that's happening. And when it, and then I manipulate it, you know, put them together and do the titles and all the credits and all that silly stuff. I guess if I didn't do that like Scott and just, you know, put it up with no manipulation, that would be easier, but I'm not, you know, I'm not the news guy. I'm the commentary guy. So, you know, what I need to do is get a new laptop that is empty. My new laptop is as old as Sardonyx, almost 3 years old, 2.5 years old. And as much as I've, you know, downloaded onto it and transferred from my other hard drives and stuff, it's slow now. When I first got it, man, it was like, ooh, ooh. You know, you got to be careful where you touched it. It was so fast, you know. You hit it once and it goes through 3 pages. It's like, whoa, that thing is super fast. But they don't make these Toshibas no more, and that's a bummer, because I don't want an Acer or a Dell or a, you know, God forbid, a suicide Apple, or, you know, maybe I get a Hewlett Packard, something. I hate that, because they give you so much garbage on a laptop, you know, programs you don't need, you know, like this Quicken and Money and all these stupid things. I'm not an accountant. I don't use that junk. And I'd never put my accounting information online anyway. I don't put credit card numbers on a keyboard in the cyberspace. I don't have any anymore, but I wouldn't if I did. And, you know, hesitant about putting my P.O. box. But that's okay, because whatever you send me goes to the post office first. and they scan it. So, anyway, Alright, I'll shut up for a second while I light this up and something else pops into my head. Otherwise, I'll give you a moment of silence. that was just a moment. God, I love my lanai. I could just lay here on my couch. I have a futon couch out here. It's got a bunch of junk on it right now, but kicking back right here and oh, I gotta turn you down, Pink. You're a little loud for this one. Till I keep taking. Oh, kitty, kitty. Yeah. Life is good. Manifest what you want. You know, I first came over to Hawaii with a one-way ticket. You know, no money, but I had a 40 franc gold coin in my pocket. And a whole lot of skills in my head. And when I left with more money in my pocket. I left with cash in my pocket and went back first class. That was the days of the puka shell necklace. Crazy. Selling sand. Just like yesterday, selling dirt. I love it. I love it. But hey, I got free horse poop today. I got too much. I'm giving away. I gotta load that up and bring it over there by the columns, because that slump over there on the other side between the columns and the tires there, that bowl on the other side of that hill is my veggie garden spot. It was really deep bowl, just like these ponds here, but then I came in with blue rock 2.5 inch minus, or no, just 2.5 inch drain rock, and then filled the bottom of the bowl, and then came in with some pepakeo soil, cinder soil, just to fill the next layer, or another 2 feet thick of that, and then to do the top of the bowl, you know, when I'm getting higher up the bowl, I put in MacNut compost soil on top of that at the top of the level, right? Just like the caldera and the levels of the lava up there. The top was what I was going to grow in, the rest of it was just drain. And doing that so your garden's not a bowl, because water would sink to the bottom of the bowl and it would flood out your garden. So your garden's got to be flat, you know. Smarter that way. You drowned all your plants. And either I need a Kubota, John's Kubota to scrape that, or I need to, that's another thing for the Bobcat, because I'm not manual labor anymore. And we don't have manual laborers on Hawaii. Miss that about California too. Lots of Mexicans will work hard day like no Americans in the hot sun for minimum wage. If you pay them a little bit better than minimum wage, oh, they love you. I mean, everybody else is giving them $5 an hour. I'd give them $10 an hour back then. When I was in San Francisco in the early 90s, those guys used to flock to my car when I came by, because they told the other guys, that guy pays $10 an hour. Fuck. Yeah, well, you know, that's fair. You got to pay someone fair wage for fair work. People around here, they want to charge you $15-20 an hour to do gardening, and they milk the clock, man. They milk the clock. So I pay them piece wage, you know. How many weeds did you pull? I'll pay you 10 cents a weed.